Welcome to INN CEO Talks. In this episode, I am joined once again by Christos Doulis, the CEO of Golden Independence, which trades on the CSE under the symbol IGLD and on the OTC under the symbol GIDMF, and on the Frankfurt under the symbol 6NN. Mr. Doulis has over 25 years of experience in metals and mining, having held senior positions in mining equity research, investment banking, and in industry. Most recently, Christos served as CEO for several exploration companies focused on Western Newfoundland. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in Economics from Queen's University and is a CFA charter holder. Christos, thanks for joining me again today. You know, this is the third time you've joined us, and each time the news about your independence project in Nevada continues to unfold. And the last time when we spoke at the end, you said, keep an eye on this space because you will have news. And looking at the press releases that you've issued in the last few weeks, news you have had. Let's bring viewers up to date on where you're at.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much. The two big news items that hit the tape at the end of last year in December were the formation of the joint venture with our private partner, America's Gold Exploration, Inc. And that was effectively marked the completion of the earn-in at the project. So, we spent $3 million into the ground in the last year and a half at the project, as well as dealing with a cash bullet payment to the underlying owner in January of last year. So with all of that completed, we formed the formal joint venture. We're now the 51% owner of the Independence project with a 10% operator fee as we advance it. And then the other big piece of news that we had out was the PEA on the near surface resource at Independence. And so we outlined a nice little robust operation, produces around just under 200,000 ounces of gold over a 6-year mine life with a net present value of around $45 million US using kind of current spot gold and silver prices. So certainly two very big pieces of news that we have been working towards for quite some time, basically since this company came into being a little over a year and a half ago. We have been working towards completing the earn-in and delivering the PEA on the near surface portion of the resource at Independence.
So what does that mean as far as near-term activity for the project? Where do you go from here?
Great question. So it's interesting. The first year and a half of our life, as we focused on completing the PEA on the near surface and completing our earn-in, we're very much focused at the top of the Independence project or the surface of the Independence project. But the company management has always been convinced that the real sizzle in this project is the high grade potential at depth, just under 800,000 ounces at 6.5 grams. So what I'd like to do in 2022 is I'd like to prove concept, which is I'd like to drill some holes in the skarn and show that resource is considerably larger on our property, or hope to show that it's considerably larger on our property. We think it can get maybe twice as big on our property, and we know it extends off of our property to the north onto NGM ground. The challenge is right now is 800,000 ounces. It sounds like a big number, but you need to understand that if this asset, the skarn, is going to be exploited by a company like NGM, they're going to look at exploiting it in a kind of 250,000 ounces a year or more production profile, and they'd want to see that for at least 6 years. So what we really need to see is well north of 1 million ounces. They're approaching 1.5 million, and that's when I think our neighbor will very much be interested. So we've got 800,000 ounces today. We'd love to do some drilling and show that there's up to, maybe twice as big on our property, and also show that it extends north of our property onto NGM ground. We know that it does by drill holes, so we might drill some holes for free on their ground if we can, as it moves towards showing that this skarn deposit is much, much larger. So I would suspect our focus in 2022 will, in fact, shift from the near surface heap leach to the unlocking the value of the deep skarn. To be blunt, heap leach projects are much more common in Nevada and other parts of the world than the world-class potential of the skarn. So you'll see actually quite a few companies in Nevada that are advancing these lower grade heap leach projects that are kind of in the 0.5 gram gold range. Those are certainly not uncommon in Nevada. But what is rare are are the world-class assets. So the old Fortitude skarn, which was mined out 30 years ago, about a mile to the east of us, was 2.3 million ounces at 7.5 grams. And that was definitely a world-class deposit. We are hoping that the skarn that we have on our project has a similar profile. So somewhere, in that same kind of order of magnitude size. We certainly know it has a same kind of grade profile. And so that'll be the focus in 2022. We'll be exploring the skarn to see whether we can show that it's got real size to it.
Do you have the financial resources that you require to be able to prove it out?
Sadly, that is the challenge that we face right now. It's been a tough year for junior mining companies. It's been a tough year for all gold companies. Most of them are trading near their 52-week lows. So we're no exception. And while we've ended the year with quite a bit of cash in the till, we have about 1.2 million right now. It's not enough to advance the project as aggressively as I would like. So we formed the joint venture back in early December, and then obviously it was holiday time for a little bit. But with the joint venture in hand, we're in a much better position to now enter into serious negotiations with more significant players, such as our neighbor Barrick/NGM or other companies in Nevada, about working together to unlock the skarn. Until we had the joint venture, guys knew that we would ultimately have 51% of this project, but there was no clarity on what our relationship was with the other 49%. So the joint venture defines all of that, and so now we're in a position to transact with a senior regarding the property, whereas we weren't really in that position until the joint venture was in place. So the good news is we're ready and able to negotiate doing a deal. The challenge that we face is that it's an ugly market right now for gold equity stocks, particularly for guys who are not cash flow positive, such as us.
Right. It's a little bit more difficult to go to the market and raise some of that money. But your story is a good one, and you look like you're in a good position to be able to exercise some of those other relationships that can help you then move forward and confirm the resource.
Yeah, with our share price where it is right now, I certainly would take someone like Barrick's money, but I don't think I'd want to. We have at 11 cents, we're 7 million market cap. So, I can't see us going out and raising $2 or $3 million Canadian at these kind of prices with the broad public markets. But, if a strategic partner wanted to get involved, that would be a slightly different story. And I think would be a great mark of a merit for the project, kind of a seal of approval, as it were. So you can bet that that's what I'll be working towards over the next few months, will be because as you said, we certainly believe that the project has merit, and the challenge that we face in the short term is the capital to advance it aggressively. But we certainly think that other participants in Nevada will put us on their desktops and have a good look at what we've got, and then may very well decide to work with us about unlocking value in the skarn.
Well, I'm sure that a shift in the gold price is going to nudge a number of people in that direction pretty quickly too. And so there might be a bit of the I'm sitting around waiting.
Yeah, it's what a lot of us in the space are hoping for. The challenge is that a lot of us, I think, in this space are hearing the inflation story and the money printing that's gone on in the last couple of years. And although $1,800 is a high price for gold, from a historic perspective, many of us think that in the gold industry think that prices could be heading higher in the fairly near future, just given the economic backdrop of what's going on. But as always, that's the market's decision, never yours, as to when the prices will change. So we are definitely we're optimistic, but we are also aware that we're not the guys who are going to drive the gold price. That's going to be the economy and the participants in the economy at large.
Well, you've done an awful lot to make sure that all of your, elements are aligned so that you can take advantage of that. And as you suggested last time, we're going to keep our eyes on this space between now and when we have you back again.
Well, wonderful. Thanks so much for having me on, and great to give the market an update. As I said, a lot happened in December, and although not a lot of eyes are on the gold space right now, I certainly encourage guys to take a look at us and to look at what we're doing in Nevada. Great jurisdiction, great neighbors. It's $9 an ounce at today's price, and certainly think that should things heat up, that this project will not be ignored for long.
Right. Wishing you well. See you soon.
You bet. Thanks so much.